Hey guys, how's it going? Wixie Gaming here, and today I'm going to be showing you my Season 8 Nobunaga's Empire set guide. So there's a lot of things I really like about the Samurai. One of the main things is that their clear speed is insanely fast. They probably have the fastest under Amazon, if not faster, clear speed. And one thing that's special about the Nobunaga set is that we get to make our skills so much stronger, and we also get 50% CDR, so we're always having full uptime on our skills that are empowered by our set bonus. So we have a lot of damage and just full uptime, good clear speed. And another cool thing about Samurai is that we have 50% dodge between all the gear that I'm going to show you today. So we're actually quite tanky as well. Some of the things I really don't like about the Samurai though is that the skill, the last Samurai that teleports you, can get you killed in certain situations, like on Samara or some other bosses. If you don't want to teleport into a spot, it'll just teleport you there and get you killed. So you always have to be careful with that. And then another thing that I don't like about the build is that since it is a crit build, the strength scaling on it is really poor. So your ceiling is a lot lower than a strength build would be. So that's just two things to keep in mind is that this is a complete crit slash CDR build. You are just going around spamming your skills as fast as possible, and that's the bulk of your damage, that's the bulk of the gameplay, and that's just how this build plays out. So with that said, I'll go straight into the items. So the Nobunaga set has the helmet, amulet, weapon, and chest plate. So we can't really swap those, but I'll briefly go over what each piece kind of gives you in terms of stats. So the helmet gives you a lot of fizz damage. It gives you a lot of crit rate. Or no, I'm sorry, that crit rate's from my runes. It gives you crit damage though, which is good. It gives you dodge, and it gives you 19 points in the last samurai, which is really good for us. That's one of our main skills we're using. The amulet is really, really huge because it gives us the bulk of our CDR. This is the first item you should take up to 115% if you're trying to go this route on this build, because this item can easily almost fully cap you. I believe this item goes all the way up to like 42% by itself. So, very strong item, definitely worth using. But other than that, has a lot of fizz percent. Uh, Gives some other decent stats too. I don't really get why it gives you 108% energy. That's something more than likely will be swapped out to strength or some other stat coming season 9. The weapon is the Nobunaga's Battle Slicer. Again, can't swap this out because we're using the set bonus, but this weapon's really strong because this one does give you a bunch of crit rating. It does give you a bunch of crit damage as well, as long as fizz damage and the base damage on it is actually pretty high. Also gives you life per hit and mana per hit, and a bunch of dodge. So overall, it's a really strong item. The chest plate gives you some strength bonus. It doesn't really do a lot because none of the other items give strength. It gives you some attack speed, which is okay, but we're not really basing our skills around attack speed. It gives you some HP, which is good. It gives you a ton of dodge, which is really, really good. And then it gives you some crit damage, and some fizz damage. So those are both really good stats as well. For the gloves, I chose the War Master's Tribal Paws, just because of the flat fizz damage. You could also go with like Death Grasp, but the thing is, those cost a little bit more. However, they are quite stronger than the War Master Tribal Paws because of the Last Samurai uh, passives that it has, and it does give higher attack speed as well. So it is an option For the boots, I chose to use the normal Assassin's boots over the Assassin's Shadow boots because I felt that the attack speed, the dodge, and the skills were just too important to give up in terms of the crit damage and crit chance. It's better just to get the crit on the gear and scale these boots or scale with these boots instead. That's just preference though. You could always use the Assassin's Shadow boots, get a little bit more crit and crit damage that way, and not have the attack speed. But for me, I like the attack speed because it pulls me almost up to 5 attacks a second. So it's not like your attacks are too slow. If you didn't use these boots, I believe it takes you down to 3 something attacks a second. No, 4 attacks a second. So it definitely gives you a lot more attack speed, especially at higher values. If this was like 115%, that would almost give you a full extra attack per second. So that's pretty substantial. For the charm, you have a couple different options. Personally, I would use Hello, It's Me, Steve. But if you are able to get a Torch of Shadows, definitely get that because that is best in slot. But the Hello, It's Me, Steve trinket is really good because it gives crit damage, crit chance, fizz damage percent, strength, energy, and stamina. So it gives you enough energy to actually allow you to cast your skills. So that's one thing that I like about that. Now, going over the passives, we put 25 points into Battle Glance because this is always up. It's a passive, but it procs all the time, so that's just one of the ones I like to personally use. I use a lot of procs on this build, even though we are CDR based, because a lot of the skills you're going to get enough damage into already as it is. And then, like I said, the bulk of our damage is from The Last Samurai. So we're basically just buffing our damage and getting as many procs as possible. So our procs are going to be the Battle Glance and the Shuriken Toss. But the other 25 point one we're going to put into is Bushido. So each point gives, it looks like, 3% damage increase. So it's kind of up to you if you want 5 points into this or to lose the 15% damage increase. Personally, I like the 5 points into this. You could always take like 5 points out of Shuriken Toss and put it into The Last Samurai if you really wanted to, though. For the hero levels, we're going to go into Ancient Power. Now, I go into Gut Ripper all the way up until 400%. After 400%, I kind of don't care. After that point, I just put everything into Ancient Power to scale our fizz higher. After every point of that, I'll just continue to scale the fizz because the crit damage is already at a 400% multiplier. So we have quite a lot of fizz damage as it is between the crit damage as well. And one thing you'll notice is that the dodge on the build, like I mentioned earlier, is 50%. This could easily be changed if you swapped out some of these crit runes. If you wanted to like farm on this build or something, you could always swap these out for dodge runes and get more dodge that way too. You don't have to go the crit route. I just prefer to go the crit route because Genji's, or not Genji's, but Nobunaga's armor gives you a lot of crit/crit damage just to begin with, and it works really well with getting capped on CDR. One side note I'd like to make just on the ending of this video, I wish that the devs would be a little more non-vague about what these abilities do. For example, Emperor's Last Wish enhances all usable abilities on Samurai. Well, what does that even mean? So that's just my one complaint, is that I wish they weren't so vague. I wish they had tooltips that actually told us exactly what was going on with the set. It'd be pretty beneficial for those of us that like to crunch numbers and do things like that. With that said though, I'm going to go ahead and end the video today. If you enjoyed watching or have any comments and questions, go ahead and use the box below. If you like the video, please feel free to subscribe, and I'll be streaming pretty soon here on twitch.tv/WooksieGaming, and I thank you all for watching the video, and I hope you all have a great day.